Good morning. Welcome back to Grasshopper Flats. Today we're working on the fourth in our series and final on how to grow garlic. And today our subject is planting garlic. And I have the good fortune behind me a group of AmeriCorps students and their director, Ben. These students are working with the school the Farm to School program in Montezuma County, and they are offering their volunteer labor to learn about planting garlic. And I'm working them hard because they're having to dig the beds and pull out my nemesis, which is smooth brome grass. Horse people love it. I dislike it. And they're working the soil and then using a dibbler to create the holes to plant 5 plants at a time. And the dibbler is set up at 5.5 inches. 6 is okay, but I built mine at 5.5, and then every 9 inches we do 5 more holes. And in a 50-foot bed we can do about 60 rows, which means 300 plants per bed. This is early Italian purple, and it is a soft neck. As I showed you in an earlier episode, you can bend the neck. This one has not been cleaned. Because we're going to plant this, I don't worry about trimming the roots except to get the dirt out of them. And the reason I do that with all of these there are 17 bulbs, and if I get 8 cloves per bulb, that's going to give me 136 plants. If I get 10 cloves per bulb, that'll give me 170 plants. And so I did weigh these and took an average, and that way I have an average weight to compare my seed garlic every year to see if it's getting any bigger. But basically, I'm gonna remove these outer wrappers, get them down here, and we'll get one of these guys here. Now, soft necks are a little different than hard necks in the way the cloves are arranged, and I will try to pry this guy loose. Sometimes I'll use a dull putty knife. Oh, darn, my grip is weak. There we go. So here's a bulb. This scar is where it was attached to the whole bulb. That's a good size bulb, or clove. And soft necks have this really nice row around the outside that'll all probably be big enough to plant. And we just break them off this way. The cloves get a little misshapen, and some of these will be too small to use, but with the soft necks, I want to get 8 to 10 cloves per bulb. So let's see what we can come up with. The smallest cloves I will not plant because they make a bulb this way too small. The larger the clove, the larger the bulb you're going to get. I am going to separate out those two and see what I have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's my minimum amount. These two are way too small. So I'm going to go with 8 from that clove, or from that bulb. And we'll do all of these. This variety is Bogateur. It is a hardneck. And this is the scar where it was broken off of the bulb. But look at the size of this clove. Bogateur will produce 5 to 6 good-sized cloves. And it's going to be a strong flavored, but around the base here are little nodules which become the roots. I don't know if I can expose them or not. Anyway, in about 10 days, those roots will be a 1/4 inch long, about like that. They will start growing immediately. So we're going to plant this end down with the tip up. And we've come through here with our dibbler, and we're going to skip a row right here because we're starting a new variety, and it's going to go down clear into this hole that the dibbler made, and then we'll plant in each of those, and then we'll come back with a rake. Whoops. I'll plant 3 of them here, and then I'll demonstrate that. After we've laid out the whole thing and planted, put them in the dibbler holes, we just push a little dirt up against them, pack it down a little bit, and they are planted. We will put a straw mulch over the bed, because that will help us retain moisture in the soil. And it also prevents the clove from being frost heaved out of the ground, because this will freeze come December and January. But garlic is so hardy in cold weather, that's not an issue. This time I'm going to put the T-tape under the mulch. And that way the moisture is going directly into the soil, and the mulch will help to hold the moisture in the soil. Once a bed is fully mulched, I will actually turn on the T-tape. At this time of year I don't have irrigation, so I'll have to use domestic water. But that's the advantage of T-tape. It's very efficient use of water. And I'll probably let it run for about an hour to an hour and a half. And that'll be adequate. And hopefully winter will set in and bring more moisture. An important thing about planting garlic, it is fall planted. And in this area we have a pretty good window for planting. Mid-October to about mid-November is the ideal time. As warm as this fall has been, if you planted too early, the garlic would actually emerge from the ground. And you don't want that to happen in the fall. You want it to stay happy under the cold ground. And today is November 5th, and that's when the students have come out to help me. We're going to get at least 2 beds planted, so that's pretty darn good, saving me a huge amount of work. Well, that is the conclusion of our video. We've gone all the stages from how to plant, which is at the end of the video, to when the garlic emerges in the springtime, to how the bulb develops, and then the harvesting and storage. And I hope it's been meaningful and understandable, and hopefully it gave you a little inspiration to try and grow garlic. Remember, there's 3 reasons. It's winter hardy, the deer don't like it, and you get to store it and cure it before you have to sell it, so you don't have to sell it fresh. Thanks, everybody.